I was pretty clear in some of my messages that I put out there. The guy's a predator. He's continuing to lie to the American people, his constituents of Texas, 23, Texas 23, the district. And I'm at this point. I'm quite frankly, I was exhausted and tired of all of the running around lying that he continued to do. Mhm. Mhm. Oh, absolutely, and that's why we went the direction that we went. We had a Cellubrite dump on the phone, so it's forensically proven that it is him. We did all forensics analysis on everything, so there's no way that he can say that it's AI, that we're lying, that we're making anything up. We're essentially saying that, you know, this is real. This is the person that he is. He lied to everybody about it, and you know, the, I put it out there for everybody to see. Against my want to actually do it, I have an 8-year-old son that I have a duty to protect, and by me coming out and exploiting this, I put him at risk as well, in the future, being able to see all this and putting it out there on Front Street. My son has an image of his mother, and I don't want that to be tarnished, and I don't want to be the fault of it either. um I found out about it. I guess I couldn't actually I could probably tell you the date. It was June 31st. Excuse me, May 31st. Uh, it was the night that I found out about it. It was a Friday night. Yeah, we've been on and off. Yeah, we've been on and off for 21 years. When you know somebody for that long, you get to know their tendencies, and she had been acting a little off for the past couple of days, and I don't know. So I've never been a person to look through her phone. We had an open relationship. Our as far as like our devices, we had an open relationship. I could leave my phone down, and she could leave her phone down, and she has the passcode. There, I have the passcode. There was no hiding anything, and she had been acting a little strange, and that's when I felt like I needed to go through her phone, and that's when I found out about everything that was going on. Look, I'm not saying he's the one that went out there and did it himself, and I'm not saying that, but yeah, he played a role in it. He predatorized my wife, and he pushed her to the sense of having an affair. I mean, I made that evident in the messages that I released. Actually, it makes me even angrier because again, he's deflecting, and the man has no values. He runs his whole campaign on family values, and he runs everything, saying that he's some family man. He's actually quite of a sick man. I have all the messages that shared between them two, and the things that I just released a tip of the iceberg of the things that this man was telling her. I released just what was, enough information for the people to understand who this person and who they were dealing with. If I were to release everything, you, I, again, my biggest thing is protecting my son. I will not release, the salacious messages that went back and forth much deeper than what and much more graphic rather than what I presented to the American people. Right. Oh, absolutely. I've already done my part, as far as uh, letting people know who he is. That's up to as far again, Aaron. This is not a political thing for me. I want everybody to know that as I don't care 2 cents about the whole political matter behind it. I don't care that, it's 2 seats in the I don't care about all of that. I care about facts. I care about what he has done and how he's continued to lie on Regina's name. He's sitting there and just he's bold-faced lied about it, about everything. And to say that the facts are going to come out, I would bet that he does not want me to release all of the messages that show how gross of a man he is. Yeah, absolutely. I put out enough for people to understand who I shook his hand. Yes, we met each other one time. Of course, as y'all know, I'm from Uvalde, Texas. One of my best friend's daughter was taken away in the Rob incident. At that funeral, um, Regina had texted me that she was going to be showing up. Tony was doing his uh, making appearance to whatever, showing his respects, and he walked up and he it was a quiet setting. We were inside of a church. I shook his hand, he shook mine, and that was the length of our introduction and to each other. Absolutely. Yeah, of course. This is, this is not only about her, but this is also about my son and showing my son that we stand up to cowards. This guy is a coward, and we're going to stand up to him, and we're not going to allow him to bully us like he's bullied everybody else and continue to lie about it. I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to sit aside anymore and allow that to happen anymore. I think in his heart he didn't believe that I would have come out because of course I was trying uh, to protect the name of Regina, and of course, as well as protect my son that he doesn't have to further see this in the future and go on YouTube and Google her name or my son he truly dearly misses his mother every day and he looks her up every day. My son is just nonstop talks about his mother, and I felt like that was my duty to him and her as as the situation said. Oh, they had an inseparable bond. They had an inseparable bond. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Regina loved them very much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Mhm. Well, there was one thing, I shared with one of your producers earlier, Aaron. My son, he no longer has a mother, and the other morning we were having breakfast, and just day before yesterday, and he grabs a particular Gatorade out of the refrigerator, and it's a pink one, and he's like, we had just gotten them, and he was like, "Oh, you got pink ones?" And I was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. That'll drink the pink ones." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna drink these. These were mom's favorite color Gatorades." And it tore me to pieces. I had to go to the restroom and shed a tear because m- most kids get to wake up in the morning and kiss their mother's good morning and get to say goodbye before they go to school. My son now has to remember his mother through a color of a Gatorade, and his memory of her, is through objects, smells, and things now, and it's not being able to actually have her in his life anymore. So it's heartbreaking to me. It's heartbreaking. Absolutely. You're welcome, Mary.